Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Fall is officially upon us. The leaves are changing, the days are getting darker, the air is crisp, everything smells of pumpkin spice and apple cider. When fall begins and spooky season approaches, I shift into suit mode and begin my annual rewatch of all of the Harry Potter movies. Every year my girlfriend and I love getting together to watch all of the ups and downs of the Harry Potter franchise. There's something about these movies that just screams autumn. Maybe it's the dark academia, or how each movie begins a new school year in the fall, or it's the beautiful color scheme of so many scenes. I felt inspired and wanted to build a Harry Potter Halloween themed diorama. So sit back, grab a cup of tea, put on a big sweater, and enjoy the video. These were some of the pictures of Hogwarts I used as a reference when sketching out my idea. I wanted to build the courtyard area from the school. The MOC will be a large tan rectangle with a black border. Cobblestone will make up most of the ground. The entrance will be on the right side of the MOC with some arches and a big brown door. There will also be another small door here and arches all along the back side of the MOC. A large tree will be on the left side of the courtyard. And I may add the fountain in the middle, but I feel like it might be distracting and not look super good in photos, so we'll see. I'm not going for 100% accuracy here. This will definitely be my interpretation of this area of Hogwarts. I wipe off my desk, grab some coffee, and put on a little Zach Bryan and get to building. I begin by using these 16 by 16 plates for the base of my MOC. They are very stable to build off of and make it easy for me to move it around later in the build process. I connect these all with some regular 2x4 bricks. I then start building up the black border around the base using 1x6 and 1x8 plates and tiles and various black bricks. Next, I needed to fill in some of the gaps in the back and front of the MOC using light bluish gray bricks. It was now time to build up the base. I started using tan, medium nougat, and light nougat colored bricks. I wasn't super happy with how it was looking, so I changed up the color scheme a bit to tan, brown, and dark brown. I then built up the back of the MOC using some large 2x6 bricks so everything was level. It was now time to tile off the outside of the MOC using some tan tiles. I needed to build up the center so I could plate off the top of the MOC. I used 2x4 bricks and then added some plates onto those. Next, I started working on the cobblestone. I used a lot of these light bluish gray masonry bricks. Here's the technique I used for majority of the cobblestone. The bricks would just rest on their side and are completely flush with the tiles on the outside because of the spacing. This was a very tedious process and not super fun to build, honestly, but I really liked the way it turned out once it was all done. Now it's time to work on the entrance. I started by laying down some plates and tiles for the front steps. I then used brown window frames as the big door. I will add black bricks behind them so you can't see through them. I also added some support beams and arches. These will give some nice texture and depth to this area of the MOC. After that, I then added some windows and a little brown door to the side. It was time to move on to all of the arches that line the long side of the MOC. I did the same design for all of the arches. I didn't do a super complicated design because I needed to be able to replicate it, and I only have a limited number of tan parts, especially arch pieces. Now that the arches were done, I was still a little unhappy about how the base of the MOC was looking. I decided to make it all tan and get rid of the other colors. I was really struggling here on what I wanted to do, but I liked having it all tan a lot better. My workspace and desk were getting a little messy and it was starting to become hard to build, which usually happens when I'm in the middle of building a MOC, so I decided to clean it up a little before continuing on. Now that my desk is a little more organized, I decided to start building up the back of the MOC. I added a lot of those big arch pieces behind my brick-built arches to give them some more depth. And I still wasn't happy with the base of the MOC. I was really, again, struggling to figure out what I wanted to do here, but I promised this was the final change. I kept the tan color scheme, but I wanted to give it some more texture. I used some jumper plates, tiles, and snot bricks to achieve this design. I am much happier with how it looks now. I was ready to add some more color to the MOC, so I figured now was a good time to add some shrubbery. I've been growing these for months. Adding some olive green plant pieces really brought this MOC to life. I will definitely be adding some more later on in the build process. I needed to work on building up the back of the MOC some more. I started by using some big panel pieces. I also stacked a bunch of masonry bricks for the inside of the arches. Since this is Halloween themed, I had to add some Halloween decorations. I started with some of these spiderweb pieces. I then worked on building up the back some more so I could close off the top of the MOC. Now that the back of the MOC is built up, I needed to finish the back wall that sits behind my row of arches. I used these little baby 1x3 arches. Tiles fit in these arches and it gives off a nice texture since the tile is a little offset. I also used the rest of my tan masonry bricks all around the arches. It was time to add some more plant pieces. I decided to mix it up and use some dark green pieces this time. I thought they looked good next to the olive colored ones. One of the last major things I needed to build for this diorama was the tree. I used a lot of dark brown pieces, especially these dark brown trunk pieces. I think the actual name for them is elephant tail. I changed my mind again about something and felt like the back wall was too flat. I wanted to give it a little bit more texture and depth, so I added some tiles to it. It looks a lot better, so I'm glad I decided to change it up. The design I chose isn't super accurate, but I liked what I came up with and it still looks kinda like a dark academia castle. I especially love the tan Minecraft heads. They are one of my favorite pieces. The tree is all locked in, as well as a couple more branches. You can't have a Harry Potter MOC without owls, so I gathered up every owl I had, which was actually a lot more than I thought. I got a bunch of these baby owls from the collectible minifig Hawkeye figure. I somehow got 4 of them, which sucked at first, but then I realized how cute these little owls actually were. One of the last things I added were some roots and sticks growing out from under the tree that are now sticking out of the final arch. Finally, it was my favorite part of the build process, and that is adding little details, accessories, and minifigures. I got together all my pumpkins and candles and other Harry Potter decor. For the minifigs, I have Dumbledore. My girlfriend just got me the little poly bag he came in as a little gift, so I had to include him. I also have Hagrid, Ron and Hermione, and some Slytherin bullies that conjured up a skeleton to scare some of the younger Gryffindor students. Oh, and I can't forget Harry on his broom. Here is what the back of my MOC looks like. Now that the MOC is done, it was time to take pictures of it in my lightbox and edit them in Photoshop. This MOC took me about 3 days to build.